We'll let the chat fill up a little bit here.
Remember, you can't talk when I'm on the air.
No, I won't at all.
844-500-4242. Earlier today, we had a masterpiece theater reading with Grace of I was as Sergeant Yuri Rubber Ducky Buchanan, and she was the young mother who was hassled about the rubber duckies. Did you leave any ducks anywhere else? He does have sort of a program with that. I'm not really sure, but I figured it was appropriate for the moment. But we're going to talk to Turtle Boy. It on TV Daily News. He got these are actual court documents, by the way. This is insanity that they would post these in a public forum. But first, I want to ask. We have him on the line, Aiden Carney, a.k.a. Turtle Boy, and he had his own court case today, and he's trying to get back, I believe, your electronic devices. Is that right, Turtle Boy?
Well, yeah, amongst other things. We're also getting Melo disqualified, and as it turns out, Melo is actually going to be a witness for the defense in our case. So we're going to have an evidentiary hearing scheduled for January 10th, in which Melo and Tully are probably going to have to take the stand if he doesn't bow out. I don't know, but that's what the judge scheduled today. The judge seemed to, a lot of the stuff happened at sidebar, so it wasn't as exciting as we had anticipated, but a lot of good stuff happened today, and the judge seemed to agree with us, and seems to agree that Melo is a witness for the defense. I mean, this guy involved himself.
Melo is one of is special prosecutor number one,
as
opposed to special prosecutor number 2 or special prosecutor number 3. He's the first special prosecutor.
And honestly, I miss him. At least he was entertaining. This new guy, it's like watching paint dry, Howie. I can't even listen to that. I'm bored in my own hearing.
Is this the former judge and prosecutor, the double dipper for the pension?
He's collecting 2 pensions.
Or is this another guy?
No, it's the same. It's Cosgrove. He's collecting 2 pensions. He had to take a break to
$200,000 a year pension.
Yeah. He had to take a break to declare war on the First Amendment. So here we are.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just there wasn't that it wasn't that much news breaking stuff. So I got to ask you about this the rubber ducky transcripts that you posted last night. These things are I can't imagine that anything this nutty would ever happen. But it did, didn't it? I mean, why would they post? Tell people what's going on with these rubber ducky transcripts that were posted.
So, I don't know, a few months ago, it became like a thing. Some guy started throwing some rubber duckies with, like, Colin was in the house and Free Karen Reed on them, and would put them outside D&E Pizzas like a joke. And, of course, everything stops in Canton. This is like a huge thing. They start investigating it, and people were almost mocking it. Like, okay, you guys, okay, then everybody starts putting rubber duckies everywhere. It became a thing, It's all like they encouraged it with their ridiculousness. And so apparently, I think it was in like July, some woman went to dinner with her mother and her father down at C.F. McCarthy's, and she had 2 little rubber duckies in her purse, I guess, and she put one on the bench outside of D&E Pizza, and another one, like, on some bridge close by or something like that. And so she got charged. They're charging her with this for 2 counts of littering, Howie. Littering. I mean, Jim Ferris sits outside D&E Pizza. He literally throws 24 cigarette butts on the ground every day. He's not being charged with littering. And witness intimidation because she put FKR.
Which is a felony. Same thing you've got.
Yeah.
Same thing you've got.
Because she wrote the initials FKR on a miniature rubber ducky, which is smaller than the microscopic pieces of tail like the Michael Proctor planted on John O'Keefe's clothing.
But I mean, how can they? And it's being this littering investigation is not being handled by the Canton PD. It's being handled by the state police.
Yeah, it's a very serious issue. It's very serious.
And this is the guy Buchanan who lost 5 vacation days, and he's worried about the human rights of the McAlbert family. What did this guy do when Proctor was sending out those vile messages about Karen Reed?
I believe he hit the like button or the laughing emoji or something like that. He thought it was funny, and he has the gall to tell this woman, human to human, heart to heart. Think about poor Chris Albert. Poor Chris Albert's sitting here, he's so sad. Think about what you're doing to that poor guy over there. Can you just have a heart? And meanwhile, his subordinate Michael Proctor is sending him messages about Karen Reed nudes and bowel movements, and he's like, ha, that's funny. Yeah, it's funny that she's got an issue. Yeah, it's funny stuff. Good stuff, bro. Yeah, high five. And like, these are our police, and like you said, like, why are the Canton police not doing it? This is like, I guess they're just not equipped. They weren't trained in rubber ducky, like tactical situations. They don't know what to do. Only the state police can handle the rubber duckies.
So this guy, the guy that phoned 911 to get the state police all over the littering cases, this is the selectman, jailbird Chris Albert. And
Yes.
so he runs out the day this happens. This woman, by the way, she doesn't even live in Canton. She belongs to the Canton Country Club. So she's having dinner with her lunch with her retired parents because her two little kids are in summer camp.
Yeah.
And so she puts the little tiny rubber ducky on the bench, not even in front of Chris Albert's mediocre chicken farm place.
Nope.
And so he runs out with a camera or his phone and starts taking pictures of her. And so the woman and her husband, when Yuri's there, and by the way, he's armed.
Yes.
And as part of the litter investigation, he's got a sidearm.
Yes.
Right, in case
she throws a rubber ducky. In case she throws a rubber ducky at him, Howie, he's got to come armed. He's got to be prepared. You never know. You never know.
So he says. So the woman or her husband says, well, he was taking pictures of them out on the street, and Buchanan says he has a First Amendment right to do that, boy. And the woman says, wait a second, what about my First Amendment right to put down a tiny little rubber ducky on the bench?
My attorneys almost, they crap themselves. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. The people who are declaring war on the First Amendment are suddenly worried about the First Amendment rights of Chris Albert, Chicken Parm Charlie, to come outside and harass some woman for putting a rubber ducky on a bench that he doesn't own. He doesn't own it. It's like, so why is he, what right does he have to say that, like, you can't put that there? Of course you can. And FKR, it's like it's turned into the N-word or something, or like, I'm going to blow up the plane. Like, that's what they're equating it with. Like, why would you put such dangerous language on a rubber ducky? You must tell us now. What was your motivation? And the whole time, the lady's like, it was just cute. I don't know. It was like a joke. It's like a duck. Is this real life right now? Like, you got to be kidding me. He's like, we'll take it easy on you. Right now, we're charging you with just littering. But if you cooperate with us, maybe just one charge of witness intimidation. I don't know.
How about the when he says, we hope you will not reoffend.
Yes.
Reoffend.
Yeah, reoffend. I think we had a good discussion today. You learned something good here. Like, at the end, he's like lecturing her, condescending tone about, oh yeah, I'm glad we had this little heart to heart. Hopefully you learned your lesson and you'll behave next time, young lady. No more rubber duckies for you. Oh my God. Like,
I can't believe that they would take it. Someone would listen to this and say, Yuri, this is a really good idea to put this on the public record, because no one's going to, like, the state police aren't already a laughing stock of everybody in the Commonwealth and nationwide, probably to a lesser degree. Could there be anything more absurd than this?
No, I mean, when your boss is Michael Morrissey, you have nothing to worry about. That's the problem. Like, normal people in a normal workspace would, refrain from doing something like this because you're like, I'm going to look like an idiot to my boss. But when your boss is Meatball Morrissey, I guess you have nothing to worry about. It's like they have no shame whatsoever. The people that they're bringing up, this is like I'm not sharing the woman's name or anything like that because I'm trying to. The last thing we need is her getting out there and doxxed and attacked and all this stuff. But if you see this woman, like, this is the most clean-cut, all-American family you've ever seen in your life, and they're just trying to make her a felon for a rubber ducky. I mean, this is, you can't make this crap up. And again, they're not ashamed. Do they not have anything better to do? Howie, he got 3 other troopers, like guys I've never heard of, probably all coneheads, Clark and Gendron and one other guy and he immediately had them pulling surveillance. They were at her house within 2 or 3 hours. Yeah. They had the receipts.
They didn't pull any video when a Boston cop ends up dead on another Boston cop's lawn. They didn't care about the video or about the cell phone calls when a pregnant woman ends up and is allegedly murdered by a cop from Urie's hometown next door, Stoughton. But they're pulling surveillance video to find out who planted the rubber duckies.
Yeah, and they track down the GMC Sierra and where it belongs. But you tell them, hey, by the way, there's this plow driver here who says that he saw a Ford Edge parked next to a dead cop. You might want to look into that. To this day, they still have not done anything. They're like, nah, that's not good information. We don't care about that. That guy's colorblind. We can't listen to a word he says. He must be lying. And it's just, they have no shame. Again, you can't shame the shameless. And when your boss is Michael Morrison, you answer to no one. You know, a couple people are running against them. And I would say that like a deal killer when it comes to a vote or an endorsement is like, if you don't plan to disband this entire Gestapo organization that you have working for you, this detectives unit, every single one of them should be fired. Like done. You go write tickets on the Mass Pike or something like that. Get out of here. You're not being a detective anymore.
A cadet at the State Police Academy in New Braintree gets beaten to death in a boxing ring. Enrique Delgado Garcia, it takes 11 days to find somebody to start an investigation. They just let everything just get totally cold. But when a rubber ducky is found on a public bench and a jailbird, an ex-con, calls in a complaint, the state police are all over it like white on rice.
Yeah. He doesn't even call it in. He just
instantly.
He texted Buchanan. He just texted him. Like, it's like their personal buddies. They are literally the Secret Service for the McAlberts. Like, whoa, did somebody say something mean to you? Someone was outside your store? I mean, in a sane world, when a grown man calls the police and says, hey, somebody dropped a rubber ducky there, you know, you say, okay, Chris, you know, shake it off. You'll be okay, Chris. Did you survive? Are you going to be okay? But no, not in the Canton world. In the Canton world, we got to drop everything we're doing, pull surveillance videos, track people down at their home, demand to know their reasoning for writing 3 letters on a miniature rubber duck, and then tell them that you're charging them with littering and felony witness intimidation. Can't make this stuff up.
Let me read you from Uri. They have to enforce the laws to maintain order and civil order in our society, because if we don't, the next episode will not. I'm not saying this is the case, but the next episode will be 10 times worse because nothing was done right now. So in other words, the next time she could have left 10 rubber duckies on the public bench.
It could have been much worse. Think of what she could have written on those little duckies. Oh no, it could have hurt his poor feelings. I mean, you read that whole thing over, and I understand you guys did a dramatic reading before. I missed it. I can't wait to go listen to it again. But you know, you read this whole thing over, and you're like, the woman was scared. You could tell just from reading her. Like she was. The kid almost got eaten by a lawnmower halfway through it. The kid's like, the child's trying to get her attention.
Whole thing, the tape begins. You got to be the tape. Is this guy? This guy's got a gun. He looks like some kind of thug. He's just a giant thug. He's got a gun, and he's creeping up to the kid. Hello, little boy. That is a very nice dinosaur you have there.
No. Oh. And then the kid's trying to grab the mom's attention the whole time. He's like, Mom, and normal guy's like, you know what? Go tend to your kid. I'll leave you alone. This is a rubber ducky. I'm gonna let this one go. It's really not that important. Just call me later. But no, not him. He's like, we must continue this conversation. You must explain rationale for a rubber ducky. Please tell. Please do tell.
This is your state police. They don't investigate the death of a cadet in a boxing ring. That's for tomorrow. They don't investigate a 23-year-old pregnant woman being murdered in Canton. They don't investigate a dead body on the lawn in Canton of a Boston police officer. But by God, they're into those rubber duckies, aren't they, yes. Turtle Boy?
No, absolutely. There will be no more rubber ducky shenanigans on his watch. As long as Buchanan is roaming the streets of Canton, it will be rubber ducky free. So rest assured, citizens of Canton, you are safe.
Yeah. You're right. This deserves more attention. I may write a column for Sunday. It's just too much. It's too easy. But it's great. I'm glad you turned it up, Turtle Boy. And I'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
Thanks.
Sounds good. Bye.
I'm Howie Carr. The Howie Carr Show returns.
You can keep it live. I don't give a shit. Dude, that was
Just hold on a second. How do you mute? Here you Yes, this is
All right.
fun.
Yeah, so we're back, guys. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Rubber ducky gate.
So yeah, I just got I got to sit in the courtroom and watch Bradel work because of the fake victim's stupid little privacy stipulation, another manipulation tactic of hers, in my opinion, anyway. She's there was a lot of sidebar. Everything was sidebarred. So
But it was all good stuff.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
all good stuff that happened in sidebar, and the judge. All you need to know is the judge agreed with us, and Melo is our star witness now. Like Melo's gonna help us. Like, that's what I took. That's what I took from this. Is Melo is going to save this case for us. I always liked him more than Cosgrove. Cosgrove is so fucking
I know.
boring.
I miss Melo too, dude.
I know, dude.
Yeah.
I miss Lally listening to freaking Cosgrove. Like, he is the most boring old man ever. And you got to stare at his big fat bald spot sitting behind him. He looks like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't even do it.
That dude was he is excruciatingly boring. And then you have it was great because I was sitting there and I of course I have one of those moments where I'm like, because I can't like go, what the fuck? I have to go. And it was, this guy said, well, Your Honor, there's no reason to delay this any further. This is, and I'm going, wait a second. You realize that the half of Turtle Boy's defense's argument here is that this has been
11 months.
Yeah, dude, 300 days, man.
Yeah,
300
like,
days.
You clearly don't want, if you haven't looked through the cell phone, then how, clearly there's nothing on there that you want. Like, don't you, like, you think there's something on there that's really incriminating, right? That's the reason for taking my cell phone, is they seem to think that there's something on there that's like, oh, we got him, ace in the hole. Okay, then why aren't you trying to get into it? Like, they're making no effort whatsoever to try to get into it. They're just delaying. And it's like, eventually it's like, bro, give me my fucking phone back. Like, that's all this comes down to. Like, I don't want the phone back because I'm hiding anything. You can just do a fucking copy of the phone anyway right now and get everything that's on it if you want to. Like, nothing's stopping them from doing that. But they don't, the reason they're not giving it back is they're just busting my chops. They just don't want me to work. They just don't want, they know that I have information in there. Am I missing it? Oh crap. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, you're good.
They know that I have information in there that is helpful to my reporting and investigation, and they don't want me getting it back. That's all this is about. So, it is what it is.
Yeah. Amazing. Watching Bradel work is great. I can't wait to see like Bettero like in it, you know?
Yeah, Bettero had a whole thing written today that he didn't get to do with about Melo, because we were gonna have the motion to disqualify Melo today. That was on the agenda, and instead the judge was basically like, the judge brought them up to sidebar and like, what's this all about? And the judge is like, well, instead of having a motion to get rid of him today, I want him to testify. He's a witness. Like, he's he's an act. I want him to actually talk. Like, you're a witness in this case for the defense. Like, Melo's gonna help us. Melo's gonna tell us, you know, if he tells the truth, tell us things that show that this entire thing was a setup. This entire thing was a conspiracy, and he knows it was. But and he was just kind of a useful idiot and all. Like, he's not a mastermind or anything. Like, they literally say, like, Melo is our only hope. Like, save us, Melo. And he probably has no fucking clue that they were just using him in this elaborate plot to frame me for something, because he's a fucking idiot. So star witness.
Star witness. Folks, dude. I mean, I know you have never seen, you couldn't have seen anything ever like this, or ever dreamed to be part of something like this, like, the subject of something like this, where the prosecutor is about to become a witness for your defense.
Even Cosgrove saying that they're just like they've never seen anything like it before. They've never seen anything.
It's the fucking
So we have
wildest shit in the world.
We have a letter that we wrote to Cosgrove about a week and a half ago that we wanted it impounded because we're just unsure if some stuff in there is allowed to be made public yet, and we don't want to, we're playing by the rules, So part of what we did, motion today that took place, is like we're going to have this letter which has really interesting information in it made public, and that should be I don't know when it'll be made public, but a couple, like, that's what they hashed out at the end, and they wrote out an agreement about what we could make public and what we couldn't. And we all agree, we don't want to fucking share any, victims' baby pictures or, emails with teachers. We have no fucking interest in that. We all agreed. Like, the only thing we're interested in making public is evidence that shows that I was set up for a crime I didn't commit, and this whole thing was a conspiracy. And that's what they really don't want coming out. They don't give a fuck. They know I don't want to share fucking baby shit and children. I don't care about any of that shit. Who does? No, I would look like a douchebag if I shared shit like that. I have no interest. That's not my style.
Right. And how interesting is it going to be when the evidence shows and you're vindicated based on the fact that this was a conspiracy to railroad you, and it's all surrounding you accusing them of a conspirace to railroad Karen Reed.
Yes.
So
proved my point.
Wow,
Yeah.
Thank you guys. You're top-notch police work and prosecutions.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm just solid. So right now it's set for January 10th, this evidentiary hearing in which supposedly Melo and Tully and fake victim will all have to take the stand and testify about this conspiracy that they used to lure me there, have my bail revoked, charge me with the crime I didn't commit, like deputize her as a fucking witness. She hasn't witnessed anything, and have me charged with witness intimidation. We have to have a hearing about this because it's all bullshit. So, and then that's the kind of evidentiary hearings can be used in a motion to dismiss. And can we get back to the McAlberts? That's the big thing here. I don't know how this one individual hijacked this really interesting case that already existed with the McAlberts.
Right, and it feels like it's not that it feels like it. It's looking more and more. It's becoming more apparent publicly that this is just stall tactics to deflect from the McAlberts.
Right. That's all.
That's all this is.
Yeah. I don't know how this person became the star of the show, but this is supposed to be about Jen McCabe and fucking Chris Albert and Brian Albert and Colin Albert and these other douchebags and the Karen Reed case. Like, that's what this is about. I feel like we've forgotten about that. Like, can we get back to that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, awesome. I'm gonna wrap this up.
All right, will do, brother.
Thanks, everybody, guys. I will be on soon. I'm going home tomorrow. Thank you, Turtle Boy, so much for
thanks for coming, brother.
Yeah, man. Had a great time. I'll see you later on,
right,
dude.
Sounds good, man.
Bye, guys. Bye. Oh, how the fuck do you end these things, man? Here we